Oh boy, I've been wanting to do a review on this for so long. Contra Hardcore Uprising is one of the best games I've ever played. It's one of my favorite games ever. It's some sort of like super duper bullet hell fucking masterpiece. Blow the guts out of you. Like, you know, just so freaking intense. You're about to lose your damn mind. And hardly anybody knows about it. Hardly anybody knows about it at all. Even like dedicated players, it's like if you weren't paying attention when this game came out, it came out some weird time like January 2011 or some shit like that. On Xbox 360 and then like on arcade pretty much. It wasn't a major release, and then it came out on PS3 like a month or two later. And if you weren't paying attention, because they didn't call it Contra because Konami's so fucking stupid. They're morons. They called Contra Rogue Core Contra when that game doesn't even play like Contra. Well, this game is fucking Contra times a million, and why am I even bitching about Konami? It's like a viewpoint. It's a waste of time. Hardcore Uprising is made by Arc System Works, so the Guilty Gear guys, and it has the Guilty Gear guys doing the soundtrack. Super hard, super badass, super amazing freaking animations, perfect controls, all that shit you see and expect from Guilty Gear. It's in the actual Contra game, and it's phenomenal. It's absolutely amazing. You have hit points the way you do in the original Hardcore. Some people don't like hit points or whatever, but I mean, the game's like extra hard for those hit points, and then you have other like Contra purists who are like, well, you're not fighting space aliens, and you're not Vincent Lance or whoever the hell they are. You're not Rambo Commando in the forest, in the jungle. No, you're animes, and you still go through the forest, and guess what? You do fight the goddamn alien baby at Mission 5, and he's one of the most asshole bosses I've ever thought. There's plenty of fucking alien in him. Just that alien shithead enough is enough alien in this damn game. But I'm already on a tangent, but when you have a game that was under the radar like this that no one has ever heard of, and on top of all that, it's one of the most user-friendly. You could just go through and play it because it has a progression mode. Is the only way I can describe it. It's called Rising mode. Arcade's your normal arcade is super hard. In fact, it's like really, really hard. Let me get to that in a second. Go back to Rising mode. Rising mode is the second mode, and as you play Rising mode, it's super rough at first, and you have almost nothing. But as your high score goes to like getting these credits or whatever, and you can buy these credits to buy maximum extra man, maximum extra life, give you extra abilities, because you have like a B button attack in the arcade mode that allows you to do a lot of shit. In the Rising mode, you have to buy each of these abilities one at a time, and then you can turn on the ones you want, turn off the ones you want, and eventually you'll have like a bazillion hit points and a bazillion continues and a bazillion extra men. And as you die and die and die to brutal bullshit, you slowly get more powerful. And it has a very Dark Souls feel to it. It's like, well, I couldn't beat level 2 because it's so damn rough and it goes on forever. But I've just bought some more extra men. And so now you'll be able to get to level 3. And you'll do that enough, and eventually it's like, even though the game is just killing you left and right with bullshit, your guys will be so strong that you'll get through it anyway. And it's so fun to do it like that, because even a regular player who's not a super hardcore Contra fan can, get good, son, slowly and steadily by buying all this extra shit. Hell, you can get where even you die, you come back with maximum upgrades of things like lasers and ripples for Bahamut. Crystal gets machine guns. There's 4 characters, and I think a 5th. No, there's a 5th DLC character, and each one of them had their own rising loadouts, and so each one of them could be leveled up individually. And so you've got a guy who's like a slow, but he's very tanky for hit points. Bahamut's really, really good overall. I've always migrated to Crystal. She looks like Sarah from Virtua Fighter, and she's kind of like, she's really fast, but she doesn't get to. She has kind of trouble. She has less hit points than everybody, and on arcade mode, she only has 2 hit points. But Rising mode is super fun. It's super great. You can kind of suck at Contra and still slowly get better over time, and that Rising mode just does so much to help just new players get into Contra. And then we have arcade mode, and I think arcade mode is kind of what the contra purists probably have a problem with, because dude, that is the most brutal as shit. I've never actually played the first hardcore for Sega Genesis. There's no way it's harder than this. There's no fucking way. It's absolutely goofy, insane, ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, because once your character, with all the rising stuff, they're kind of slow. You have to run and dash to do everything, kind of, sort of. And you have pretty much, you have pellet gun. And kind of like Contra 3, I mean, not Contra 3, but Contra 4 on DS by WayForward. I think it's WayForward. They often put the power-ups on the screen in a certain way, and their combination is hard to get them. Like, you might have to be hanging off of something, and then here comes the laser power-up. And you're like, I gotta get this laser power-up, but you have to time it right. And there might be just 14 shitheads coming on the screen trying to get you at the same time. So it's hard to get the power-ups, and they build up. And so your regular spread might not be very good. It only shoots 3 shots and actually does less damage than a pellet gun. Your max spread, pretty much, level 3 spread covers up the whole fucking screen almost, or at least one side of the screen. And then, so you would want to get that maxed up. But if you take, some asshole or some cheap thing in the game is going to take your power from you over and over again. And so you're constantly with pellet gun until you figured out the hard way by dying over and over again what's out there to kill you. And so it's just it's freaking rough, man. It's rough as hell. And after you continue 100 times, they give you 573 continues, total. And so, but even then, with all of those hundreds and hundreds of continues, I still got stuck on the final boss for 4 hours or some shit to actually beat him on arcade mode without the benefits of Rising. It's that freaking insane, that tough. And you have to just play the shit out of it. And so one day, I'd beaten Ikari Warriors. That was one of the best, hardest in-game things I've ever done, is beating Ikari Warriors on NES without using the ABBA code. And I wanted something that would definitely surpass that I would feel good about. And I have such a high opinion of this hardcore game, Uprising, that I was like, you know what? There's the achievements for this game are fucking insane. They're similar to I don't know if anyone's ever looked at it, but Mega Man 9 and 10, where they have achievements we'll go through the whole game without getting hit and shit. Hardcore Uprising has achievements like going through the whole game on arcade mode, without killing 50 of the little pirate guys, the little Antifa guys. They're in freaking, they got umbrellas and they're in black skinny pants. They're Antifa. So he's killing these little Antifas right here, under 50. That's ridiculous, because I would kill that many on the first level. And then there's achievements for playing through all 8 levels of the arcade modes with players from around the world. I hate those multiplayer achievements like that. But the achievement that got to me was literally because I had such a rough time with beating the arcade mode. It was so insane, so hard, and there's an achievement to do it with one man. I'm like, that's fucking ridiculously insane. That's stupid as hell. I'm gonna do it, bro. I'm gonna do it. It's so. Still to this day, as of this review, I have not done it yet. I've got it down to 4 deaths, so I have to do it with no deaths. One of these years, we're gonna do it, man. One of these years, we're gonna do it. But this game is so fucking great. Don't have to worry or play about arcade mode. You can just play the Rising mode, and you will have a blast building up your character bit by bit. I recommend level 2. There's a heat drop early on. Just using the heat charge and just keep moving forward, and you can keep your combo going. Your combo is one of the best ways to get high score. And it's funny because of the Rising mode, you make sure your high score actually matter. When most games, you don't really give a shit about the high score unless you're trying to do something special. But it's so fun. It's so good. And it's a real shame that this was supposed to be the start of a new franchise, and it was dropped. It did not sell because no one knew about it. They didn't put Contra in the name, for one thing. They didn't release it with any marketing over here in the West. And even the Japanese version has West voice actors They speak English. The voice acting in this game is kind of goofy and rough. The volume's bizarre. It's loud. But other than that, there's really no faults in the game. I guess one technical fault is I don't like double dashing by pressing left or right twice, kind of like you would do in Virtua Fighter or a fighting game to dash forward. I don't like that because, you know, in a bullet hell game, I like to, you know, inch forward and stuff. But that's really my personal gripe with that. And you get used to it. It kind of sucks, but you have to adapt to it. And there's a lot you could do as far as, you know, like in Contra 3, you can hold down the right trigger and shoot up in all directions and stuff without moving your character. But you can also use the left trigger to kind of point your character, just to point their gun up at an angle or straight up, and then move around and do like that. And against a lot of bosses, that's real important. There's so many things and techniques, dashes, and like you can just you can like evade enemies, or you can deflect bullets with the B button. There's a lot of things the B button does, and it almost leads to this sort of game that's just built for speed running, where it gives you a maximum time that you've done for every level so far, and it also gives you individual time, so you can sit there and say, well, I beat level 1 in about 9 minutes. I'm a slow ass, but you know, I can sit there and see, well, how close I am to my time. And with the running mechanic, the B button mechanics, you can do like crazy, insane speed running looking shit. And the whole game's built like that. Really, it's a little bit too long because it takes about an hour if you're running through full speed running type through everything. But if you're just taking your time, I like to try to shoot everything on the screen. I'm cautious. And so it takes me around an hour and 40 minutes to do a run on arcade mode. That's great when you're on Rising and you have a lot of levels of practice. When you're actually on arcade mode, when you're trying to do arcade type things like one credit clears and stuff, this game's a little bit too long for that. Actual Contra's only one for NES is only 20 minutes, just to show you that it's like multiple times longer. Many times harder. But even so, don't play the arcade mode. Get it and play Rising. And if you love Rising mode as much as I did, then you can give arcade mode a run, and it will fucking embarrass you. Alright, Steve out. Oh, wait. We're throwing all the fucking paws up here. Do we even describe what you like? Fucking Kitty loves anime. The paws up. Brian loves that brutal challenge and the progression in Rising mode. The paws are up there. Now Steve and Brian and Kitty, we're all out, yo.